Friends, we are very happy to inform you that e-modules are prepared for B.Ed program at Telangana by the School of Education, Osmania University under Pandit Madan Mohan Malaviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching Scheme MHRD New Delhi. It's indeed our pleasure to share with the teacher educators and the prospective teachers and get maximum benefit out of it. It's a first of its attempt by us. We continue to add many more such lessons to share with you all.
बड़ा नटखट है रे कृष्ण कन्हैया, का करूं यशोद मैया, मैया रे हाँ, का करूं यशोद मैया. On the screen you are seeing a lot of color being displayed. So culture, when we are going to talk about culture, you are seeing so many pictures of the different festivals celebrated in India, world over, and sumptuous meal which is also part of the culture, the cuisine, the language. Just now I sang in Hindi. There are many more languages which build the culture of a globe. Now right now the civilization has come to a standstill and culture has taken over as it was to be and has to be. Today Nisarg has hit the shores of Mumbai and the Mumbaikars have got a different culture, the culture of resilience, just like the Japanese who rose from the ashes of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. The Mumbaikars also have always shown resilience. I think they are going to show some more. Now let us come out of the COVID culture and let us learn a little bit out of the culture at large. Man is a culture bearing animal, hence understanding of human society requires the understanding of culture. Every society possesses culture and humanness develops in a cultural framework. Sociologists have developed the two concepts, culture and society, to explain the regularities in human action and the essence of social life. Understanding the meaning of culture is vital to the understanding of the nature of society, because society gives you a lot. Now we will see how the society is giving you a lot. What is culture really? Culture is the way of the people who live in this world, what they speak, their religions, their dance forms, the fine arts, the celebrations, the philosophy, customs and traditions and so on. Now while philosophy talks about ideas, thoughts, values, when they are converted into our behavior it becomes psychology, and when we are talking in the context of group behavior it becomes sociology. But let us now restrict ourselves to the characteristics and definitions of culture. So culture encompasses human elements beyond biology. For example, our norms and values, the stories we tell, learned or acquired behaviors, religious beliefs, art, fashion, in fact the totality of the human life, Now you can see this slide is showing you what are encompassed in culture: language, which leads to communication, the courtesies extended by the young and old at large, the rituals conducted by every society and every culture, the roles we play, the multifarious roles we play, the customs and traditions, the relationships, the human relationship we have, the practices which we always perform, expected behaviors, existing behaviors, values, thoughts, manners of interacting, all these are encompassed in the capsule called culture. Now you can see here the beautiful showmen and the art forms of India only. Of course I have restricted myself to the art forms of India. You can see the musical instruments and the concerts and Kathak, Bharatanatyam and the mudras, everything. So you know that the reputed Balamurali Krishna is singing to glory in Pibare Ramarasam Rasame Pibare Ramarasam. Now Tal, which will be is a classical fusion which will be the beats, that is called the Nattavanga in Bharatanatyam, and the beats have originated in, for Bharatanatyam they have originated in Tanjore, which will allow the dancer to display the footwork according to rhythmic beats, and the song will be accompanied. Culture is primarily an anthropological term. The field of anthropology emerged around the same time as social Darwinism in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. During the late 19th and early 20th century, the sociological positivist thought emerged. Cesare Lombroso studied the physical characteristics of prisoners because he believed that he could find a biological basis for crime. Lombroso coined atavism to suggest that some individuals were regressions to a more brutish point in the evolutionary history. So, culture is an evolution. Lombroso used this concept to claim that certain individuals were more weak-willed and more prone to criminal activity than their supposedly more evolved counterparts. Culture is used in a special sense in the anthropology and sociology. It refers to the sum of human beings' life, ways, their behavior, beliefs, feelings, thoughts. It implies everything that is acquired by them as social beings. Now let us see who coined the term culture. E.B. Taylor, an English anthropologist, coined the term culture in the 18th century. Culture is nothing but change in behavior of man, transformation of the self from brutality to accomplishment of wisdom in the essence of, or is the essence of human life. Today, under the COVID stress, we have transformed from the brutality of an ordinary human being into what is called the wise human being. So, what is culture? Again I repeat, the way of life, the general customs, beliefs of particular people at a particular time. According to social scientists, culture is a body of learned behavior, whereas biologists consider culture as the treatment of microorganisms in a laboratory. When we talk about historians and others, it is called the preservation of art, literature, music, food, and transmission of traditions and customs to posterity, because whatever we do today, we are not trying to just leave it off, but we are trying to preserve that for the posterity, so that they can adapt and they can adjust and they can accommodate and compromise and lead a very beautiful life. We will come to the meaning of culture. Culture is an umbrella term that encompasses social behavior and norms found in the human society. Human beings learn through enculturation and socialization. A cultural norm codifies acceptable conduct in society. Culture is what differentiates one group or society from the other. Different societies have different cultures. However, it is important not to complicate the idea of culture with that of society. E.B. Taylor defined culture as that complex whole which includes knowledge, belief, art, morale, laws, custom, and any other capabilities and habits as acquired by man and his fellow men of the society. According to Aurobindo Ghosh, now I am trying to define or bring to you the definitions of different people who have defined culture. According to Aurobindo Ghosh, culture is the harmony of spirit, mind and body. So, what is harmony? Harmony is an essential ingredient of life. Harmony is important to lead a peaceful life. Existence is possible only when every human being can understand this harmony. Having understood it, he should live in harmony with himself and with the larger systems around him, that is the environment. According to Linton, culture is a social heredity which is transmitted from one generation to another with the accumulation of individual experiences. He talks about the transmission of culture based on the individual experiences. Every individual has his or her own body of experiences which you already know. According to E.A. Hebel, culture is the sum total of integrated learned behavior patterns which are characteristics of the members of a society and which are therefore not the result of the biological inheritance, because culture cannot be inherited. John Beatle, one of the musicians of the Beatle group, he said experiences transmitted from one generation to other along with the beliefs and values. When it comes to attitudes, they may not be transmitted, as each individual will develop their own attitude based on their own experiences. A general definition of culture, however, that can be applied to all cultures is patterns of behavior that are common within a particular population of people. Institutions such as family, school, places of worship aim at developing the core individual and social values essential for a harmonious life. Man is a social animal. He has to interact with his fellow human beings to sustain himself, and he is dependent on others. The interdependence helps him to lead a successful life both professionally and personally. We are now going to talk about the types of culture. Culture has two sides, the external and the internal side. The external side of culture deals with the religions and philosophies. The internal side deals with the finer sentiments like beliefs, values and emotions, which I have already spoken about. Now when we were we are under the COVID, we have put aside some of our age old beliefs, and we have now brought in some new beliefs. Our value system has also slightly shifted from that of the traditional values, and our emotions are very fresh because the COVID has given or made a lot of impact on every human life. Elements of culture. Culture exists anywhere humans exist. No two cultures are exactly the same. The elements, specifically symbols, language, values and norms, are different. These elements look different across cultures, and many change with time as a society evolves, as our society of 220 has evolved. 2020. Symbol is anything that is used to stand for something else. People who share a culture often attach a specific meaning to an object, gesture, sound or image. For example, O is a significant symbol to Hindus, whereas cross is a symbol of Christians, while a crescent is a symbol of Muslims. To Christians, the cross represents the basis of their entire religion, and they have great reverence for that symbol, just like we have for our Om. The language, the second element present in every culture is the language. Already we know that India is full of languages. Now we say hello, we say namaste, we say vanakkam, we say good morning, we say namaskaram, we say so many things in so many languages. So language is a system of words and symbols used to communicate with other people. எப்படி இருக்கீங்க, நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா, நல்லா இருக்கேன். This is one of the South Indian language, whereas when we come to the North Indian language, where Hindi is the medium for most of the states of India, the northern states, they will say, like Modi said, जहाँ है तो जहान है, जान है तो जहान है. What did he mean? If there is life, then there is the world to conquer. Values. Another cultural element is a system of values which are culturally defined standards for what is good or desirable. Members of the culture use the shared system of values to decide what is good and what is bad. Indian folk tales, stories in English, famous folk tales with morals, they all have a contribution to their own culture or to the different cultures. Now you can see the different elements of culture here. We are talking about social organization, starting with the family. The family is different. We are now amidst the nuclear family. We have got a family called extended family and something called a joint family. Now we have got lot of customs and traditions which we are giving to our posterity. Languages, as I have already discussed with you, and religion. Religion gives you a lot of elements, religious elements. Then arts and literature, and then forms of government. We have started from a nomadic culture, and today we are in the midst of a democracy where it's by the people, of the people and for the people, and India becomes the largest democracy, the largest economic power to come over the period. Now economic systems also change over a period of time. Therefore culture keeps changing because it is shared, it is acquired, it is done in so many facets, except it is inherited through genes. it is not a genetic component. Adaptive mechanism. Now adaptation is very important. First it starts from adjustment, and then we have to adapt. What made it possible for our ancestors to begin living in temperate and ultimately subarctic regions of the northern hemisphere after 500,000 years was the invention of efficient hunting skills, fire use, and ultimately clothing, warm housing, agriculture and commerce. So from the from that stage of Homo sapien, we have now reached to a stage where we are very cultured and we are very civilized with the latest gadgets like robotics, artificial intelligence and so on and so forth. Culture has been highly successful adaptive mechanism for our species. Culture has made us the most dangerous and the most destructive large animal on our planet. Now China is already preparing for a war with India, because our terms have not been exactly very friendly from times immemorial. I think China is now again preparing for it had I think an idea of biological war, but then it is really now preparing for a war. So now we are the destructive large animals on the planet. It is ironic that despite the power that culture has given us, we are totally dependent on it for survival. We need our cultural skills to stay alive, to stay safe. Now this video will give you an insight into the success and secret of or the secret to successful socializing. Socializing is very important, because without socializing we cannot sustain in this world. Interpersonal relationships are very important. So coming to culture is learned. Human infants come into the world with basic drives such as hunger and thirst, but they do not possess instinctive patterns of behavior to satisfy them. Likewise, they are without any cultural knowledge. However, they are genetically predisposed to rapidly learn language and other cultural traits. Newborn humans are amazing learning machines. Any normal baby can be placed into any family on earth and grow up to learn their culture and accept it as his or her own. Since culture is non-instinctive, we are not genetically programmed to learn a particular one. Every human generation potentially can discover new things and invent better technologies. The new cultural skills and knowledge are added on to what was learned in previous generation. As a result, we can say culture is cumulative. Cultural evolution is due to the cumulative effect of culture, because culture is not making of one day's behavior. Culture is acquired. Now we come to the second characteristic called culture is acquired. What is the difference between adaptation and acquisition? Culture is an acquired quality or behavior. It is not biologically inherited but learned socially by individuals. We are interacting every day with number of people, and from every person we interact with, either in the family, with our neighbors, or at school or at our workplace, we learn a lot of habits, we learn a lot of behavioral traits, and we have a lot of cultural potency which is acquired by us from day one to the end of the day we die. In other words, any behavior or quality which is socially acquired or learned is called culture. Behaviors are learned through socialization. Human beings learn or acquire culture by living in a group. Man learns it from society through education. Culture is social. Culture is not individual but social in nature. As a social product, culture develops through social interaction which is shared by all. Without social interaction or social relations, it is very difficult and almost impossible to be cultured. Culture is inclusive of the expectations of the members of the groups. It is created or originated in society, hence it is social. So always we are focusing on the social nature of culture, because man cannot live as a lonely individual, as was seen during the COVID lockdown. Lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3, lockdown 4, and now we are in the lockdown 5. You know that many psychiatrists and psychologists have come out with fascinating tales of domestic violence and the psychiatric problems people were facing due to isolation. Whether it was an imposed isolation or a self isolation, isolation cannot be handled by man for a long time. Hence, he has to be amidst people for socialization and for improving his social behavior. Culture is transmissive. Culture is transmitted from one generation to another generation. We are seeing that so many values have been transmitted by our elders. For example, how we bow down at the feet of people, at the feet of Lord, at the feet of elderly people, at the feet of sages, all these were transmissions. It passes from parents to children and so on. This transmission is a continuous and spontaneous process. It never remains constant. It never remains constant. Man inherits or learns culture from his ancestors and passes it to his successors. In this way, culture constantly accumulates from one generation and from a generation to, and it is passed on from one generation to another generation. Culture fulfills some needs. Culture fulfills many social, psychological, moral needs of individuals. Culture is created and maintained because of different needs. It fulfills needs of both society as well as individuals. As we have seen, I am mentioning COVID because it is a hot topic today. Now today, Nisarg will also teach already the Mumbai government has given directions for all its population to keep the door shut, to be at home, to charge their cell phones, to not to come out, to not take the vehicles out and park them out on the streets and so on and so forth, apart from all the instructions given to the fishermen. So in this way, every day our needs change based on the changes in the environment and changes in the circumstances. For example, religion used to fulfill the solidarity and integrative needs of society. Today, we had discarded religion for a long time because we were very, very proud of our civilization. But COVID has taught us now that religion is very, very important, and maybe the religious prayers have only kept the world going during the COVID period. Our need for food, we have struggled. We have seen people struggling during COVID for food. There were migrants who were dying due to lack of food. Clothing, shelter, name, fame, status and position are filled as per our cultural ways. Culture is shared. We cannot keep it to ourselves. We always have to share it. Culture is not possessed by a single or a few individuals. Culture is shared by majority of individuals, hence culture is collective in nature. That's why at the beginning of this program I told you that culture is the collective consciousness of the people of a country. For example, polytheism is in our culture. Monotheism, polytheism. It means majorities of Indians believe in polytheism. To make you clear of what is theism, there are something called theism and atheism. Theism is a belief in God and atheism is not believing in a God. People coexist whether they are theists or atheists. Culture is idealistic. Culture is idealistic in nature because it embodies the ideas, values and norms of the group. It sets ideal goals before individuals which is worth attaining. In other words, culture is the sum total of the ideals and values of individuals in a particular society or societies at large. So COVID also has redefined the goals of the globe, and now it has given us new global goals. Culture is not created, it is accumulative. In one day or in 1 year, it gradually accumulates through centuries. Beliefs, art, morals, knowledge are gradually stored up and become part of culture. Hence, culture is the social heritage of the human beings. Culture is organized. It has an order or system. As Taylor says, culture is a complex whole. It means different parts of culture are well organized into a cohesive whole. Different parts of culture is organized in such a way that any change in one part brings corresponding changes in other parts. Culture is communicative. Man is a communicator. Man makes and uses symbols. He also possesses capacity of symbolic communication. Culture is based on symbol and it communicates through different symbols. Common ideas and social heritage etc. are communicated from one generation to another generation. In our society, red color stands for danger. In Indian culture, red color, as I said already, symbolic to danger. Hence, culture is cumulative in nature and communicative in nature. So, without speaking the words, we can communicate with symbols what it stands for. Now, we know that red, we always talk about how the bull is very aggressive when it sees the red color. Similarly, pink, yellow is a very bright color, blue, green, so many colors are there, hues are there, and all these colors have a symbolic transmission to make, and they will always be communicating through their colors. Language is the chief vehicle of culture. Culture is transmitted from one generation to the next because it is not static, it is dynamic. This transmission becomes possible through language. So, culture is learned through language. But for language, we would not have got all the culture from our forefathers. Culture is a total social heritage. We know culture is a social product, it is linked with the past. Through transmission, past continues to live in culture and it is shared by all people. Culture is variable, it is not static, it will change. It is variable and changeable. It varies and changes from society to society because each and every society has its own culture. It also varies within a society from time to time, as we are witnessing the changes from the pre-independence day to the post-independence days and to now the COVID days. Ways of living of people of a particular society varies from time to time. We have to keep adjusting, accommodating, compromise and develop a new culture from time to time. Culture is integrated. Cultural elements are interrelated rather than disconnected assemblages of institutions. Cultural features are understood and refer to other features within a given cultural matrix. Cultures tend to function as interrelated wholes. Integration is not perfectly harmonious, which can lead to cultural change. Changes in one area often will affect other areas in the same cultural matrix. So, culture is integrated, though it can be very disintegrated also, but finally it has to be integrated. Culture is a way of life and it is a human product. It varies from society to society. Now, you can see the state of India, how many states it has today, 29 states and some union territories. So, each state will be symbolic of one culture. Each state will have a different language. We can see that India is divided into two halves, the northern half and the southern half. In between the north and the south, we have the Deccan Plateau, which is having its own unique culture. Now, when we talk about the North Indian culture, it is mostly influenced by the Aryan culture, where the language spoken, the food habits, the ways of dressing differ from that of the Dravidian culture. The South Indian culture is a Dravidian culture, and the culture is felt in the art forms, in the cuisine, in the food they eat, in the practices in the language they speak, and so on and so forth. So, India is a rich cultural heritage and it is a great culture which we are trying to give to the entire world. Now, recently during COVID time also, India was uniquely recognized for its great integration during the COVID time. We were one, we did whatever our Prime Minister asked us to do and we stood like a rock, very integrated. Sometimes we are not integrated emotionally during ordinary times, but then sometimes we have to be integrated always emotionally and nationally as a state, not as a state, different state, not as a different region, but we have to be integrated as a nation. The Indian culture is encapsulated in the four Vedas, Upanishads and the Vedantas. Its overall thrust is the promotion of the four Purusharthas: Dharma, righteousness, moral values; Artha, prosperity and economic values; Kama, pleasure, love and psychological values; and Moksha, the liberation or the spirit and spiritual liberation and the values attached with it. Language, we said already, is the chief vehicle of culture. In this picture you are seeing four different philosophers who have given us the age old philosophies, which shall be seen in the next slide. Advaita is one of the very great philosophies given by Adi Shankaracharya. He is considered to be the propagator of this philosophy. This is the oldest school of Vedanta, and it states that Brahman is the only reality and the world is illusory because it is full of Maya. Ignorance of the reality is what causes suffering, and liberation can be obtained, according to him, only by true knowledge of the Brahman. It states that both the individual self, that is Atman, and the Brahman are the same, and knowing this difference causes liberation. The quintessence of Shankaracharya's philosophy is Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Brahma is the Lord, it is the truth, and Jagat is the world which we are living in. It's a Mithya, means it's an illusion. Jivo Brahmaiva Nav Apara, meaning Brahman, the absolute alone, is real. This world is unreal, and the Jiva or the individual soul is non-different from Brahman. It is that we are ignorant, that we are not able to recognize that we are as good as the Brahman. When this realization comes, we are equal to Brahman, or we become one. The Jiva or the individual soul identifies itself with the body mind complex due to avidya or the ignorance. Its individuality lasts only as long as it identifies itself with its limiting adjuncts. The moment the Jivatma understands its infinite power by Jnana, it loses its individuality and realizes the Sat Chit Anand nature, infinite nature. So Sat, Chit and Anand. Dvaita was propounded by Madhvacharya. It considers Brahman and Atman as two different entities and Bhakti as the route to eternal salvation. According to Dvaita, Jivatma are many and Paramatma is one. Concerning the soul, Madhvacharya says that no two souls are alike. They each have different characteristics, different states of happiness, sorrow. The soul becomes similar to God in some respects when it is liberated, yet even in these respects it is much inferior to the God. Vishishta Dvaita is a very unique philosophy which is between the Advaita and the Dvaita. That is why it is called Vishishta Dvaita. This philosophy was pioneered by Ramanujacharya during the 11th century. Vishishta Dvaita literally means the unique Advaita, that is Advaita with some amendments. While it accepts Brahman as a unified whole, it states he is characterized by multiple forms. According to Ramanujacharya, souls are intrinsically the same and all souls are alike in their quality. God stands for the whole universe and matter, and souls forms his body. He being their soul, God is viewed as the cause and also as the effect. Ramanuja's philosophy is a fusion of the Vedas and Bhagavad Purana. He was enormously influenced by the Tamil Bhakti saints called Alvars. Vishishta Dvaita is qualified monoism where God alone exists, but it admits plurality of souls. It's midway between Advaita and Dvaita philosophies. God and the individual souls are inseparable, just like the fire and the spark. In liberation, the Jivatma understands Paramatma, but it does not merge in Paramatma. So it stands aput, it stands separate, it cannot be merged with Paramatma, because Ramanujacharya felt Paramatma is superior to the ordinary soul, or what do you say, the fusion of the Vedas and Bhagavad Puranas also had an effect on Ramanuja's philosophy, and he feels that individual souls have multiple forms. So, according to Ramanujacharya, souls are intrinsically the same and all souls are alike in their quality, but they are different. God stands for the whole universe and matter, and souls form his body. He is their own soul, he is the cause and he is the effect. Now, I shall give you a small assignment. Why do you think Indian culture is looked upon by the world? Justify the statement culture, why it is, or you can say justify the statement culture is superior to civilization. Mention the characteristics of culture, and I am giving you one apart from the define culture. Unity and diversity, we are diverse but we are united. So, we are always enjoying the nation. As you can see in the picture, there is a lot of diversity but still there is unity. You can see that Annam Parabrahma Swarupam, as you can see the cuisine of different parts of India, the different states of India, the different marriage forms, the rituals are different, but the sacredness of the marriage continues, and the values of the family, irrespective of the state, region, continue to be the same. All religions, whether they are Hindus, whether it is Hinduism, whether it is Jainism, whether it is Buddhism, whether it is Sikhism, whether it is Islam, whether it is Christianity, lead to the one and same, that is recognition of the God as the superior self. So, here God is symbolic with nature. We are a great nation, but we have to bow down to the nation, not nation, bow down to the nature. Now, let us see how the nature is very, very important to us. It is a regal queen, it is the epithet, it is a symbol of prosperity and fulfilling ambitions of the human beings, which are part of its gravitational force. Let us bow down to the gravity of the earth. Thank you very much.